The reality is I want Black Lives Matter all the time. Not just when it's trending, not just when it's cool, not just when you want to wear a poster, not just when you want to feel like, I just want to be a part of something bigger than me. They matter all the time. So act like it all the time. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to A Dose of Dom. I am Dom, your host. I'm going to be talking about some very important things. So please listen, have an open heart, open ears, and listen to what I'm about to say. All right, so I wanted to talk about being an ally right now because I feel like I'm proud and I'm happy to see a lot of people that don't look like us standing for this movement. And obviously, I'm not an expert, so this is my opinion. This is how I feel. I don't represent anybody but me. I feel like with this specific moment with George Floyd, a lot of people had to really look it in the face and say, wow, like, they're not lying. Okay. Hello. From my experience, especially this time around, because it happens too often, like, my friends that were not Black that asked me, like, how can I be there for you individually, but also, like, how can I make a difference without just being flippant or whatever. Like, I really appreciated that. So I think that it's just important to educate and to give advice. I think, like, at the end of the day, you don't have to take it. The thing is, people are not just doing this because it happens every so often. This happens way too often. It happens consistently. And it is because of just not even just one person being racist. There are racist systems, racist mindsets, racist ideologies that are rampant in this country. And I think the problem with privilege is that you can choose to turn off dealing with it because it's not your everyday existence. If you want to say Black Lives Matter, if you want to march, if you wanted to be involved within this last week, you have the opportunity. But should you not want to, you don't have to. I'm Black every day, which means I deal with being Black every day, and it's a privilege. But when it comes to when people talk about white privilege and things like that, the reality is being white in this country gives you privilege. You have lots of privileges when it comes to getting loans for homes, getting, education-wise. If you look at education systems that are in predominantly Black areas, a lot of times they're underfunded. They don't have as many resources. You have some schools, now privately, maybe it's different, but even with private schools, it's just, there's lots of different levels to this. You know what I'm saying? So police brutality is obviously the most visual one at the moment. And it's really because we have cell phones. Because the reality is people talk about this stuff happening all the time. Black people talk about this happening all the time. And it's not them over there. You know somebody, or you have been that. I have experienced being profiled racially by an officer. I have experienced being kind of singled out. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just when people talk about it, it's not just them. So that's why I want to talk about this little list, because I feel like as an ally, like, if you're not having real conversations, you're not going to be helping as efficiently as you could be. I'll say that. So number one, and this is not even a number, it's just a star at the top, because I feel like it shouldn't have to be a number. It should be but it may not be. Hold yourself accountable. I don't see how you could not hold yourself accountable and try to be for a cause that's about social justice. Like, I don't feel like I have to go that far into that one. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You should do it. Anyway, number one, hold other people accountable. I understand you don't always want to be the only person. You don't want to feel targeted. You don't want to feel whatever. Get you a friend or two then. But hold people accountable, because the reality is when you don't address it, you tell them it's okay. And that's just what it is, period. Obviously, we're all human. I know we've all had moments where we wish we spoke up and we didn't. So I'm not here to beat you down about that. Learn from it, though. Because the reality is, from this moment moving forward, especially with topics like this, not holding somebody accountable is detrimental. Hold your friends accountable. When you are at your little family dinners, I'm talking to my white people and anybody else that's not a person of color or not Black, because, when you're at your family dinners, and I say not Black because the reality is there are people of color. We like to use the term people of color to be all encompassing, but sometimes people of color, people like to dim or not acknowledge Black issues when they talk about people of color. Point being, your family should be held accountable by you. Like, at this point, because at one point I was like, okay, well, you don't always want to feel like that person. Be that person. I need people to understand that are not Black. is those conversations at your dinner table, those conversations when you're chilling in the backyard, you know, but everybody got a little drink or whatever. Those conversations are what holding someone accountable looks like. You know, I appreciate saying racism is wrong when everyone else is saying it, but I need you to say it when everyone stops saying it, because the reality is it doesn't stop. Racism doesn't stop because people stop noticing. You know what I'm saying? So hold your family, hold your friends, hold your peers accountable. Number 2, be genuine. You know, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to understand everything. Seek to learn, seek knowledge, ask people, ask questions, read about Jim Crow, read about, you know, segregation, learn about that stuff, because it will help you understand and it will help you be genuine. Because the reality is, you know, Black Lives Matter is not a slogan. Like, it is, but it's not. Like, it's not there to be a slogan because it sounds good when you chant it and you say it with your chest. That is a, like, hello. That is a warning. That is an announcement. And it really is it's a declaration. Like, it is deep. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't want people to just chant it because it sounds good. Understand that Black Lives Matter, Black life matters. Number 3, obviously, as you said, that seek knowledge on the topic at hand. Don't be out here just saying stuff and repeating stuff because it sounds good and it's famous and it's cool right now. Seek knowledge. Read. Look it up. We have the internet now. Google. Sometimes people be lying. But, you know, Google stuff from credible sources. Google. Learn and educate yourself so that you can really be behind what you're saying. And number 4, I'm trying to make this kind of short and sweet, but don't let the cause die. Do not let the cause die. Like I said, racism does not stop because it's not trending on Twitter. Racism doesn't stop because until the next person dies. Racism hides until it's captured and brought to the light again. So please don't take this moment and let it be like, okay, that was good. All right. Use your privilege and sit in your privilege and use it consistently. Don't let the cause die, because don't let this just be a trending movement for you. Hold your friends accountable on Thursday in the middle of August. You know, not just because a person has died, somebody will have to lose their life and be treated as less than who God created them to be. Don't let that be the reason you speak up. You speak up when it's momentum. I understand momentum and whatever, but be about it when it's not popular. In your workplace, in your schools, in public, it counts even more when nobody is looking. Keep this same energy, please. Human nature will ride for something or ride the momentum of something, and then when it's no longer convenient, when it's no longer popular, when it's no longer exciting, they move to the next thing. Don't do that with this, because this is not something to play with. Like I said, hold yourself accountable, hold other people accountable that are around you. Be genuine, understand the topic at hand, seek knowledge, read. It's okay that you don't have all the answers. I wouldn't expect you. Side note, I feel like sometimes people that consider themselves allies, you know, it's like, well, I'm not racist, you know, or, you know, well, I love Black people, or I'm with a Black person, I have a Black husband, a Black boyfriend, whatever. Understand that if you do not seek the knowledge, you will not get it. You will not have it. You might get a little hearsay, but knowledge is sought out. Wisdom is sought out. So don't think your connections to Black people mean you understand the Black experience, and don't think your connections to Black people alleviate you from having to use your privilege. If anything, you have more of a responsibility because you benefit off of the life of the Black people in your life. You know, I want to say that, like, I do appreciate people taking the time to come out of their comfort zones and to step out of their privilege and try to seek to understand. So everyone has a part to play. You know what I'm saying? Everything plays its own part, and every part's different. Don't be afraid to have the conversation. And when you do, don't be afraid to learn. And I think, you know, it's easier with people you're already friends with because you don't have those defenses up like you might with strangers, etc., etc. But if you have people you can have those conversations with, have those conversations, because you will learn. Understand that it's not just George Floyd or Breonna Taylor. Those are two of many, and they all mattered. They all matter. Not mattered, they all matter. They're all important. They were all someone's family. They were all someone's friend. They were all someone's confidant. They were all someone's go-to. How do you fix that? I feel like that's where you kind of have to, everybody plays their part though. That's where you have to kind of just figure out what you can do. I had to stop looking at what I want other people to do and how I want other people to respond, or how I want other people to play their part. Because if I'm worried about how you playing your part, I'm not playing mine. If everybody was comfortable being that one person, it's a lot of people. You know, what's for one person may not be for everybody. That's fine. Play your part. Do what you're led to do. Do what you feel called to do, because that is important, you know. So that's it. Hopefully that helped y'all. I feel like we can create change, you know, and it's not just with a sign and painting it on the ground. I mean, I appreciate the steps, you know, I understand no matter how small, how big, but honestly, you could keep the sign and the Black Lives Matter on the street if you would just stop killing black people on the street. I would prefer that, to be honest. You can have the sign, because I saw on Twitter today, you know, they say, oh, you know, you got a street that Martin Luther King has lots of streets in the hood. Guess what? They killed him too. So I think the change that needs to come about is not just change on the outside. It's not just, I didn't know why I did air quotes. It's not just change on the outside. It's not just, you know, passing one law. It's not just, you know, we're sorry. Make a difference. You know, these companies, I appreciate these companies coming out with their apologies and supporting the Black Lives Matter movement and commenting and saying, you know, we care about our black employees, et cetera, et cetera. Keep that same energy when it's not trending. When you have people in your corporations, in your offices, in your businesses, on your staff that are making your other employees uncomfortable, that are saying things that are unacceptable, that are treating people in a way that's less than professional, for one, and definitely not necessary nor tolerated, for two. Those are when I want Black Lives to matter. I want them to matter for the rest of the year. I want them to matter every day, not just in February. I want black hair to be professional all year, because it is professional all year. You know, I want those type of things that are meant to try to make people conform and assimilate to things that were systemically put there to be racist. So that's when I want Black Lives to matter. The reality is I want Black Lives to matter all the time. Not just when it's trending, not just when it's cool, not just when you want to wear a poster, not just when you want to feel like, I just want to be a part of something bigger than me. They matter all the time. So act like it. And I would hate to see this much progress and see this much work be done only for it to be diminished because people saw it as a trendy thing, you know? But that's it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Hopefully you understood where I was coming from. I'm coming from a place of love. Share it with a friend. Maybe it'll help them. Yeah. Have a good one, y'all.